How she answered first, did not allow her partner to speak, and taps her foot when she's...
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
Kiss my wing! I have to help my family! Cannonball!
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Zootopia 2 is the eagerly anticipated sequel to the 2016 animated hit, Zootopia, bringing back the vibrant world of anthropomorphic animals in a metropolis teeming with diversity, culture, and intrigue. Produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, this sequel continues the adventures of Judy Hopps, a determined and idealistic rabbit police officer, and Nick Wilde, a cunning yet charming fox, as they navigate the challenges of maintaining law and order in a city that mirrors real-world complexities through its unique animal society. The film is directed by Jared Bush and Byron Howard, both of whom were intimately involved in the creation of the original Zootopia, ensuring that the sequel retains the same heart, humor, and visual brilliance that made the first movie so beloved. Produced by Yvette Marino and with a runtime of 108 minutes, the film balances action, comedy, and social commentary in a way that appeals to both children and adults, maintaining the franchise's reputation for layered storytelling. The city of Zootopia itself serves as a central character, with its districts reflecting the diverse habitats and cultures of its residents. In this sequel, audiences are introduced to previously unseen areas of the city, each meticulously designed to accommodate the expanding range of species featured in the story. From the bustling financial quarters to quieter, more secluded neighborhoods, the film uses its setting to explore new social dynamics and interactions between species that historically may not have coexisted, highlighting both the beauty and challenges of diversity. These environmental expansions allow the narrative to explore themes of prejudice, acceptance, and coexistence in innovative ways, building on the social commentary of the original film. The plot of Zootopia 2 centers around a new and intriguing threat to the city's harmony, a cunning reptilian villain named Gary the Snake, voiced by Ke Huy Quan. His arrival introduces a criminal element that challenges not only the law enforcement team of Zootopia but also the moral fabric of the city itself. Judy and Nick, now established partners, find themselves pulled into a complex investigation that tests their deductive skills, moral judgment, and the strength of their partnership. The narrative intricately weaves together moments of suspense, action sequences, and comedic relief, ensuring that the pacing keeps audiences engaged while simultaneously delivering deeper thematic messages. As the duo goes undercover in various sectors of the city to uncover Gary's schemes, they encounter allies and adversaries, each of whom contributes to the film's exploration of trust, cooperation, and the consequences of bias. The voice cast of Zootopia 2 includes returning stars Ginnifer Goodwin as Judy Hopps and Jason Bateman as Nick Wilde, whose performances continue to bring warmth, wit, and emotional depth to their characters. The film also reintroduces Shakira as Gazelle, whose musical presence underscores the cultural vibrancy of the city, and Idris Elba returns as Chief Bogo, maintaining continuity with the original storyline. In addition to the main cast, the sequel features new characters such as Nibbles, a beaver voiced by Fortune Feimster, and Dr. Fuzby, a quokka therapist voiced by Keena Brunson, each adding fresh dimensions to the social landscape of Zootopia and providing both comic relief and narrative depth. The careful casting choices, combined with voice performances that balance humor and sincerity, contribute to the immersive experience of the film, allowing audiences to form emotional connections with a broad spectrum of characters. Musically, Zootopia 2 benefits from the return of composer Michael Giacchino, whose score amplifies both the comedic and dramatic elements of the story. The film features an original song by Shakira, co-written with Ed Sheeran and Blake Slatkin, adding a contemporary pop element that complements the narrative while reinforcing the film's themes of unity and celebration of diversity. The integration of music into the storytelling is seamless, enhancing key emotional beats and providing moments of levity amid the tension of the central mystery. The combination of visual splendor, narrative sophistication, and musical richness exemplifies Disney's continued commitment to high-quality animated filmmaking. Zootopia 2 was officially announced in early 2023, with production focusing on maintaining the aesthetic and thematic integrity of the first film while expanding its universe. The animation leverages cutting-edge technology to render the city and its inhabitants with intricate detail, from the textures of fur and scales to the dynamic lighting and atmospheric effects that define each district. This attention to detail extends to the portrayal of movement, expression, and interaction, ensuring that the characters' emotional arcs are fully realized. The film's aesthetic choices reinforce its narrative themes, using the environment to symbolize social dynamics and the broader tensions within the city. The official release date for Zootopia 2 in the United States was November 26, 2025, following a premiere at the iconic El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles on November 13, 2025. International releases followed closely, reflecting Disney's strategy to maximize global engagement. The film is expected to transition to Disney Plus streaming several months after its theatrical release, offering broader access to audiences worldwide. Early reactions to trailers and promotional materials indicate strong anticipation, with fans eager to return to the city's intricate world and experience the continuing adventures of Judy and Nick. Zootopia 2 not only serves as a continuation of a beloved story but also as a cultural touchstone, using its animated format to address complex issues of bias, trust, and cooperation. By depicting a city where diverse species must learn to coexist and resolve conflicts, the film encourages viewers to reflect on similar dynamics in their own societies. The interplay of humor, action, and meaningful social commentary makes the film appealing to a wide demographic, ensuring that it resonates on multiple levels. Additionally, the sequel deepens the relationship between Judy and Nick, exploring the nuances of partnership, friendship, and moral responsibility, thus adding layers of character development that enhance the overall narrative richness. In summary, Zootopia 2 stands as a testament to Disney Animation's ability to create films that are visually stunning, narratively compelling, and socially relevant. By expanding the universe of Zootopia, introducing new characters and challenges, and maintaining the thematic core of the original, the film delivers a multifaceted experience that entertains, educates, and inspires. Its combination of strong voice performances, immersive world-building, dynamic storytelling, and a thought-provoking exploration of societal themes ensures that Zootopia 2 will be remembered as a worthy sequel that honors its predecessor while charting new territory. As audiences return to the streets of Zootopia, they encounter a city alive with color, culture, and complexity, a place where every character, from the smallest rodent to the most imposing predator, has a role to play in the ongoing story of justice, friendship, and coexistence. Zootopia 2 picks up several years after the events of the first film, at a time when the city has flourished into an even more complex and interconnected urban ecosystem. The metropolis, a living tapestry of species and cultures, now faces challenges that test its commitment to harmony and mutual respect. The story begins with Judy Hopps reflecting on her journey as Zootopia's first rabbit police officer, recognizing the progress she and Nick Wilde have made both professionally and personally. Yet, despite their successes, an underlying tension persists, stemming from the city's ever-present diversity and the subtle biases that continue to shape interactions between different animal groups. The narrative establishes this tension early on, setting the stage for a conflict that is both external, in the form of the antagonist, and internal, as characters confront their own assumptions and fears. The antagonist, Gary the Snake, emerges as a masterful representation of cunning and adaptability. A reptile with a sharp intellect and a mysterious past, Gary's schemes are designed to exploit latent prejudices within Zootopia, using fear and misinformation to manipulate public perception. His strategy is not merely criminal in the conventional sense, it is psychological, targeting the very fabric of social trust that Judy and Nick have worked tirelessly to build. From the first moments he appears on screen, the tension is palpable, with scenes carefully crafted to highlight his meticulous planning and charismatic menace. Through Gary, the film explores how societal fears can be weaponized, and how individuals must navigate complex moral landscapes when confronting such threats. Unlike traditional villains, he is not overtly malicious for the sake of spectacle. Instead, his actions force the protagonists, and the audience, to grapple with nuanced ethical dilemmas. Judy Hopps, voiced once again by Ginnifer Goodwin, continues to embody determination, empathy, and intelligence. Her character arc in the sequel emphasizes growth through adversity. While she retains her characteristic optimism and resolve, she must confront situations where the rules are not clear-cut, and where doing the right thing may conflict with personal loyalties or societal pressures. Jason Bateman's Nick Wilde provides a perfect counterbalance, combining street-smart pragmatism with moments of heartfelt vulnerability. The dynamic between the two characters remains the heart of the film, and the writers have skillfully layered tension, humor, and emotional resonance into their interactions. Their investigative work requires not only clever problem-solving but also a deep understanding of the city's social intricacies, highlighting the interplay between personal relationships and broader societal systems. The supporting cast adds depth and texture to the story, providing comic relief, narrative support, and cultural commentary. Characters like Nibbles, the beaver voiced by Fortune Feimster, and Dr. Fuzby, the quokka therapist voiced by Keena Brunson, serve as both guides and mirrors to the main protagonists, reflecting the diversity of Zootopia's population. Each character is carefully designed to embody certain traits or social roles, contributing to the city's rich ecosystem. Returning favorites, such as Gazelle, voiced by Shakira, and Chief Bogo, voiced by Idris Elba, provide continuity, reminding audiences of the events of the first film while also demonstrating character evolution. Gazelle's musical performances, including an original song co-written with Ed Sheeran and Blake Slatkin, underscore the city's vibrant culture and reinforce the narrative themes of unity and resilience. The city of Zootopia itself is depicted with unprecedented visual detail in the sequel. Advanced animation techniques allow for intricate textures, lifelike movement, and dynamic lighting that respond to the emotional tone of each scene. The filmmakers employed a combination of traditional animation principles and cutting-edge CGI, resulting in a world that feels both fantastical and tangibly real. From the glistening reflections on glass skyscrapers to the subtle rustle of leaves in quieter districts, every element of the environment is imbued with purpose, reflecting character moods, narrative pacing, and thematic undertones. Scenes in new city districts are particularly noteworthy, as they explore how architectural design and urban planning influence social interactions. The filmmakers have utilized this spatial storytelling to deepen the audience's immersion, making Zootopia not just a backdrop but a character in its own right. The plot unfolds through a series of intricately interwoven threads. Judy and Nick begin by investigating a series of seemingly minor disruptions, only to discover that these incidents are part of a larger, more insidious plan orchestrated by Gary DeSnake. As they dig deeper, they encounter a spectrum of characters, both allies and antagonists, whose motivations are complex and sometimes morally ambiguous. This layering of narrative threads encourages audiences to engage critically with the story, as they are invited to consider multiple perspectives and the consequences of each decision. The film's pacing balances suspenseful sequences with moments of levity, allowing for emotional breathing room while maintaining tension. Action sequences are choreographed to highlight both the physical abilities of the characters and their strategic thinking, creating scenes that are as intellectually engaging as they are visually thrilling. Social themes are interwoven seamlessly into the storyline. The sequel revisits the original film's exploration of prejudice and bias, but expands it to examine systemic issues within Zootopia. Through the actions of Gary DeSnake and the reactions of the city's residents, the film interrogates how fear can be manipulated to divide communities, and how individuals must navigate complex social hierarchies to foster cooperation. Judy and Nick's responses to these challenges emphasize empathy, dialogue, and creative problem-solving, reinforcing messages about the importance of understanding, compromise, and collective responsibility. Importantly, the film avoids didacticism, instead allowing themes to emerge naturally through character choices, plot developments, and environmental cues. The film's musical landscape enhances its storytelling. Michael Giacchino's score underscores both the tension and the emotional resonance of key moments, seamlessly blending orchestral arrangements with urban motifs that reflect Zootopia's diverse cultural influences. Shakira's new song provides a celebratory counterpoint to the suspenseful narrative, emphasizing themes of unity, resilience, and joy. Music is used strategically to signal shifts in tone, highlight character development, and enrich the audience's emotional experience. The integration of music with animation is particularly effective in sequences involving movement through the city, where rhythm, pacing, and visual storytelling converge. Zootopia 2 also emphasizes the evolution of technology and societal infrastructure within the city. From the development of new transportation systems to innovative policing strategies, the film presents a metropolis that is dynamic and adaptive. These details are not merely decorative, they serve narrative purposes, illustrating how systemic innovations can influence individual behavior and social cohesion. By situating personal stories within a broader context of urban and societal development, the film offers a multi-layered viewing experience that appeals to both children and adults, combining entertainment with subtle socio-political commentary. The sequel's marketing strategy reflects Disney's commitment to creating anticipation and engagement across multiple platforms. Early teasers and trailers highlighted the return of beloved characters while introducing new faces, environments, and narrative stakes. Promotional materials emphasized both continuity and innovation, balancing nostalgia with novelty to appeal to longtime fans and new audiences alike. The film's presence on social media, combined with targeted content releases, allowed for sustained audience engagement leading up to the premiere. The theatrical release on November 26, 2025, was accompanied by special events and tie-ins that reinforced the film's thematic focus on community, diversity, and social responsibility. As the story reaches its climax, Judy and Nick confront Gary the Snake in a sequence that combines narrative resolution, action, and emotional payoff. The confrontation is structured to test both their strategic acumen and their personal growth, highlighting the lessons they have learned throughout their journey. Resolution comes not merely through physical confrontation but through understanding, negotiation, and the application of the ethical principles that underpin their roles as police officers and citizens of Zootopia. The city itself responds to the resolution, demonstrating the interconnectedness of individuals and institutions and the potential for positive change when cooperation and empathy are prioritized. Zootopia 2 concludes by reflecting on the evolution of its central characters and the broader implications for the city. Judy and Nick emerge stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the complexities of their society, while the city itself shows signs of adaptation and growth. The film closes with a sense of optimism tempered by realism, acknowledging that challenges remain but emphasizing the power of collaboration, understanding, and perseverance. This balance between resolution and ongoing narrative potential leaves room for future stories while providing a satisfying and meaningful conclusion to the sequel. As the city of Zootopia thrives in the aftermath of its previous challenges, the film takes deliberate time to explore the daily lives of its inhabitants. Streets bustle with animals of every shape and size, each with distinct cultural markers, attire, and routines. Morning commutes involve a rabbit hopping energetically to her job at the Zootopia Police Department while a sloth in a nearby coffee shop painstakingly prepares his morning beverage, demonstrating the film's attention to species-specific behaviors and timing humor. These early sequences are rich with visual gags and subtle social commentary, establishing the film's commitment to balancing comedy with world-building. The animators pay particular attention to environmental details, reflections in puddles, motion of leaves in the wind, and ambient city sounds, which heighten the immersive quality of the animation and allow audiences to feel fully integrated into the city's rhythm. The narrative introduces a variety of new districts, each representing distinct cultural and social ecosystems. The Neon Quarter, for example, is a high-energy, technologically advanced part of the city where bright lights, holographic advertisements, and fast-moving hover trains create a sense of constant motion and excitement. Here, Judy and Nick encounter informants and witnesses whose behaviors reflect both species-specific traits and social hierarchies within the city. In contrast, the Verdant District presents lush greenery, open spaces, and quieter streets, inhabited by herbivorous species and smaller creatures who rely on community interdependence. By juxtaposing these environments, the filmmakers highlight the diversity of Zootopia and the ways in which environment shapes social interaction, providing both narrative tension and visual spectacle. The introduction of new locations also allows for the expansion of secondary storylines, giving supporting characters opportunities to shine and offering audiences a deeper understanding of the city's ecology. Gary the Snake's machinations unfold gradually, with the film carefully layering clues and red herrings. Early encounters hint at his cunning nature, such as subtle manipulations of city systems, anonymous communications that sow discord, and expertly timed appearances that misdirect both characters and viewers. This approach to villainy emphasizes intellect and strategy over brute force, making the conflict both more engaging and more psychologically complex. Scenes depicting Gary's planning sessions in his hidden lair are rich with detail, showing maps of the city, notes on various districts and species, and models of Zootopia's infrastructure that foreshadow future plot twists. The visual storytelling here mirrors classic detective narratives, with intricate sets and symbolic cues signaling the stakes and the challenges facing the protagonists. Character interactions remain central to the film's emotional depth. Judy's optimism and unwavering sense of justice often clash with Nick's pragmatism, creating tension that drives both comedy and drama. At times, their disagreements reflect broader societal tensions, mirroring the conflicts within the city itself. For instance, when dealing with species that are stereotypically viewed as untrustworthy, Nick suggests practical skepticism while Judy advocates for empathy and dialogue. These exchanges illuminate the character's growth since the first film and offer nuanced commentary on prejudice, decision-making, and moral responsibility. Secondary characters also contribute richly to these dynamics. Nibbles the Beaver offers comic relief and street-level insights, while Dr. Fuzzby provides psychological perspectives that deepen understanding of both protagonists' inner struggles. The film's pacing is carefully calibrated, alternating between high-stakes investigative sequences, quieter character moments, and sequences of sheer visual spectacle. Car chases through the Neon Quarter incorporate both comedic timing and tension, with Nick's improvisation contrasting against Judy's meticulous planning. A particularly memorable scene involves a chase across overlapping levels of the city's elevated transit system, combining fast-paced animation with strategic problem-solving and highlighting the protagonist's complementary skills. These sequences are complemented by visual and auditory cues, dynamic camera angles, rapid cuts, and a synchronized musical score that heighten suspense while maintaining clarity of action. Each sequence is designed not only to entertain but also to reinforce character development and thematic resonance. The sequel continues to explore the concept of social bias, building upon the foundation of the first film while introducing more layered challenges. Some species face systemic hurdles due to historical prejudice, and Gary exploits these vulnerabilities to incite tension. The film uses visual metaphors, dialogue, and plot developments to examine how fear and misinformation can perpetuate division. In one poignant scene, Judy must mediate a dispute between two communities whose distrust has been artificially amplified, demonstrating both her moral fortitude and the complexity of maintaining social harmony. Through these narrative choices, Zootopia 2 engages with real-world social issues in a manner that is accessible to younger audiences while providing intellectual depth for adults, encouraging reflection on prejudice, leadership, and ethical decision-making. Musical elements remain integral to storytelling. Giacchino's score adapts to the emotional tone of each scene, ranging from light-hearted motifs during comedic sequences to sweeping, dramatic themes in moments of confrontation or revelation. Shakira's new song functions as both a narrative device and a cultural touchstone, providing motivation and cohesion for multiple characters and scenes. Music is also used to bridge transitions between districts, highlighting the contrasting atmospheres and pacing within the city. In combination with sound design that incorporates species-specific noises, chirps, growls, hoots, and more, the film achieves a heightened sense of realism and immersion, reinforcing the audience's engagement with the world of Zootopia. Side plots enrich the main narrative and provide additional depth to the city's social landscape. A subplot involving a group of young foxes navigating societal expectations mirrors Nick's own journey, offering insights into the intergenerational transmission of bias and resilience. Similarly, minor characters such as a community of hedgehogs and a troop of otters contribute humor, camaraderie, and localized conflict resolution, highlighting the multiplicity of experiences within Zootopia. These storylines are seamlessly integrated, with narrative threads intersecting with the main plot at critical junctures to reinforce thematic continuity and provide opportunities for both reflection and comic relief. Animation techniques in Zootopia 2 showcase Disney's technological advancements. Each species' movement is carefully studied, resulting in physically believable motions that reflect body structure, personality, and emotional state. Fur, scales, feathers, and textures are rendered with exceptional realism, capturing the subtleties of light, shadow, and environmental interaction. Facial expressions are finely tuned to convey nuanced emotion, enabling voice performances to be fully realized on screen. Moreover, environmental design incorporates interactive elements such as water reflections, dynamic lighting, and particle effects, which contribute to an immersive cinematic experience. The combination of technical precision and artistic creativity ensures that each frame serves both aesthetic and narrative purposes. The film's climax demonstrates a synthesis of its thematic, narrative, and technical ambitions. Judy and Nick confront Gary in a high-stakes scenario that integrates problem-solving, moral decision-making, and character growth. The action is interwoven with emotional resonance, as the protagonists must navigate both external threats and internal dilemmas. Resolution is achieved through a combination of strategic ingenuity, collaborative effort, and ethical clarity, emphasizing the importance of understanding, empathy, and social responsibility. The city itself participates in the resolution, with community members contributing to the neutralization of the threat, reinforcing the narrative theme of collective action and the interdependence of individuals within a society. Following the climactic confrontation with Gary the Snake, the story shifts to explore the repercussions of the conflict throughout Zootopia. The city, though momentarily shaken, begins a process of recovery that highlights both its resilience and its ongoing social complexity. Residents of every species are shown re-evaluating their biases, mending fractured relationships, and rebuilding trust within their communities. Subtle vignettes illustrate this restorative process: a family of otters learning to share communal resources with a family of beavers, fox adolescents organizing a neighborhood cleanup event to demonstrate responsibility and communal pride, and sloths slowly adjusting citywide schedules to ensure equitable participation in civic activities. These sequences are depicted with both warmth and humor, emphasizing the film's commitment to portraying social reconciliation in a nuanced, accessible manner. The narrative also deepens its focus on Judy and Nick's partnership, exploring both their professional synergy and their personal bond. In one memorable sequence, Judy must reconcile conflicting pressures from her department and her own ethical compass, while Nick provides pragmatic guidance tempered by empathy. This scene, which takes place in the Verdant district during a quiet evening storm, uses atmospheric elements, the patter of rain, reflections in puddles, and flickering streetlights, to heighten the tension and emphasize the emotional stakes. Their dialogue is a careful balance of humor, teasing, and sincerity, demonstrating how the characters' growth since the first film allows them to navigate increasingly complex moral landscapes. Here, the screenplay subtly reinforces the overarching themes of communication, trust, and collaborative problem-solving. Side plots continue to enrich the tapestry of Zootopia, providing depth, levity, and thematic resonance. For instance, a subplot involving a young rabbit named Clover, aspiring to join the Zootopia Police Department, mirrors Judy's early struggles and provides an intergenerational perspective on ambition and perseverance. Clover's encounters with bureaucratic obstacles, mentorship challenges, and societal skepticism offer commentary on institutional barriers, perseverance, and the value of mentorship. Similarly, a subplot following a group of street-savvy raccoons navigating the Neon Quarter adds humor, local color, and minor tension, while also illustrating themes of resourcefulness, ethical choices, and urban survival strategies. Each of these side stories intersects with the main plot at critical points, reinforcing thematic cohesion while expanding the narrative scope. The animators employ advanced techniques to capture both micro and macro aspects of the city. Micro details, such as the sheen on a fish's scales glinting under neon lights, the subtle twitch of a rabbit's ears in response to ambient noise, or the flicker of digital billboards reflecting on the wet pavement, create a sense of immersion and realism. Macro-level animation demonstrates the city's scale, from towering skyscrapers to sprawling residential districts, emphasizing the interplay between individual stories and the urban ecosystem. Crowd scenes are meticulously choreographed, depicting species-specific behaviors that contribute to the authenticity and visual storytelling. These visual choices enhance narrative meaning, signaling tension, mood, and social dynamics without relying solely on dialogue. Humor is threaded seamlessly throughout the film, often through character interactions, situational irony, and visual gags. For example, a running joke involving sloth postal workers delivers comedic timing that contrasts sharply with the film's higher-stakes action sequences, offering audiences a brief emotional release while reinforcing the city's diversity and charm. Clever wordplay, species-specific quirks, and exaggerated yet believable reactions create layers of humor that appeal to both younger viewers and adults, maintaining the franchise's signature tone. Easter eggs referencing the first film, such as subtle nods to the missing mammal cases Judy solved or newspaper headlines featuring Nick's past exploits, reward observant fans and strengthen continuity between installments. The music continues to play a vital narrative role, with Giacchino's score dynamically adapting to scene context. Light, whimsical themes underscore comedic moments, while lush orchestral arrangements elevate emotional and suspenseful sequences. Shakira's original song serves as a unifying motif, linking various character arcs and moments of communal action, and its lyrics subtly reinforce themes of acceptance, resilience, and unity. Musical cues are also strategically employed to heighten tension during investigative sequences, chase scenes, and confrontations with Gary DeSnake, enhancing viewer engagement and emphasizing emotional beats. Production insights reveal the careful planning and collaborative effort behind Zootopia 2. The filmmakers conducted extensive research into animal behaviors, urban planning, and social dynamics to ensure that the city's portrayal is both imaginative and internally consistent. Voice actors were encouraged to improvise within scripted scenes, lending authenticity, spontaneity, and emotional depth to character interactions. Additionally, the animation team experimented with lighting, textures, and movement simulations to achieve a balance between cartoonish expressiveness and realistic believability, ensuring that each frame contributed to both story and atmosphere. These production choices reflect Disney Animation's dedication to high-quality storytelling and technological innovation. Marketing for the film emphasized both nostalgia and novelty. Trailers highlighted returning characters, iconic cityscapes, and comedic sequences while teasing new districts, species, and plot developments. Interactive campaigns on social media invited fans to explore Zootopia virtually, creating engagement that extended beyond traditional trailers and posters. Merchandise, including figurines, books, and themed games, further expanded the audience's immersion into the world. These efforts were carefully aligned with the film's themes, encouraging community engagement, collaboration, and creative exploration among viewers. As the film approaches its conclusion, the resolution emphasizes collective action, ethical decision-making, and social reconciliation. Gary DeSnake's defeat is achieved not solely through confrontation but through strategic cooperation, negotiation, and the application of lessons learned by Judy, Nick, and the wider community. The climax showcases both action and reflection, city systems are restored, community relationships are strengthened, and individual characters demonstrate growth, resilience, and ethical fortitude. Visual storytelling during this sequence is particularly compelling, with sweeping shots of the city's districts, detailed interactions among secondary characters, and dynamic lighting that underscores the narrative's emotional resonance. In the final scenes, the city of Zootopia is depicted as evolving, learning, and adapting. Judy and Nick's partnership is reaffirmed, showing that mutual trust, empathy, and cooperation are central to navigating the complexities of both personal relationships and societal structures. Minor characters are given moments of closure or advancement, reinforcing the film's commitment to portraying a richly interconnected world. The narrative closes on a note of cautious optimism, acknowledging the ongoing nature of social challenges while celebrating progress, resilience, and the transformative power of understanding. The investigation into Gary DeSnake's schemes intensifies as Judy and Nick navigate both familiar districts and newly introduced areas of Zootopia. One of the early sequences features a chase through the bustling transit hub, a multi-level station connecting the Neon Quarter with the Verdant District. Here, the animators showcased their mastery of layered urban environments, with platforms, moving trains, and cascading stairways providing both obstacles and opportunities for creative action sequences. Judy demonstrates her agility and quick thinking, darting across moving walkways and using her small size to slip through narrow openings, while Nick's cunning allows him to manipulate environmental objects, turnstiles, conveyor belts, and holographic signage, to slow their target or redirect crowds. These sequences are punctuated with moments of humor, a distracted sloth security officer moving at an excruciatingly slow pace, and a pigeon commuter squawking indignantly as Nick maneuvers past, creating visual gags that do not undermine the tension but enhance audience engagement. Easter eggs are sprinkled throughout these sequences, rewarding attentive viewers and longtime fans. Subtle newspaper headlines reference cases from the original Zootopia, such as "Missing Mammal Mystery Solved" and "Nick Wilde, Con Artist Turned Hero," while graffiti and signage in the neon quarter cleverly nod to other Disney properties. For example, one digital billboard displays a stylized logo reminiscent of Baymax from Big Hero 6, and a nearby food cart features the subtle silhouette of Simba, creating layers of intertextual humor and recognition for observant viewers. These details enhance immersion, making the world feel lived in and connecting the sequel to Disney's broader animated universe. Secondary plotlines are woven into these action sequences. The subplot involving Clover, the young aspiring rabbit officer, intersects with Judy and Nick's investigation as she attempts to shadow them, hoping to learn from their experience. Her curiosity leads to both comic mishaps, such as accidentally triggering a cascade of moving crates in the neon quarter, and narrative opportunities, including the discovery of a key clue in Gary DeSnake's plan. Clover's journey mirrors Judy's own early struggles in law enforcement, providing a thematic continuity that emphasizes mentorship, perseverance, and the passing of knowledge between generations. Similarly, the Raccoon Street Gang subplot adds texture to the city's underworld, highlighting issues of resourcefulness, ethical boundaries, and community dynamics in a playful but meaningful way. The film also explores the interpersonal dynamics of Judy and Nick more deeply. During a tense negotiation with a faction of reptiles sympathetic to Gary's cause, Judy's idealism initially clashes with Nick's skepticism, leading to a dialogue-heavy sequence that balances tension, humor, and character development. The animators use close-up facial expressions and body language to convey subtle shifts in emotion, while the musical score punctuates moments of realization or miscommunication. In one particularly poignant exchange, Nick admits to lingering insecurities about societal prejudice against foxes, prompting Judy to acknowledge her own biases and assumptions. This moment of vulnerability deepens their partnership, illustrating that true collaboration requires honesty, empathy, and mutual understanding. The action sequences escalate as the investigation leads the duo into the Verdant district. Here, the cityscape contrasts sharply with the bright, high-tech neon quarter. Lush greenery, open plazas, and waterways dominate the environment, creating opportunities for both visually stunning animation and narrative complexity. Gary DeSnake uses the natural environment strategically, manipulating canals, bridges, and hidden passages to evade capture and orchestrate misdirection. Judy and Nick's problem-solving in this district emphasizes critical thinking, teamwork, and environmental awareness. The juxtaposition of high-tech and naturalistic settings highlights Zootopia's diversity and complexity, reinforcing the narrative's thematic emphasis on coexistence and adaptation. Comedic moments continue to punctuate the story, providing balance to the suspense. Sloth postal workers, misfiring holographic drones, and overly enthusiastic street performers inject humor organically into the narrative. These moments do not feel extraneous. They reinforce the city's charm and cultural richness while giving audiences brief respite from the tension. Additionally, visual puns, such as a group of chameleons attempting to blend in on a patterned wall, only to reveal their colors dramatically in the wrong context, demonstrate the animator's playful attention to detail. The musical elements continue to play a critical role. Giacchino's score dynamically responds to both action and dialogue, weaving leitmotifs that signal character presence, emotional shifts, or impending danger. Shakira's new song is integrated into a pivotal sequence, serving as both diegetic and non-diegetic music. Characters perform or react to it within the scene, while the score also reinforces its thematic resonance. The lyrics, emphasizing unity, resilience, and understanding, underscore narrative moments when disparate characters collaborate to overcome obstacles. These musical integrations heighten emotional engagement and reinforce the film's central messages. Production insights reveal the extensive research and collaborative work behind the film. Animators studied the locomotion, social behaviors, and ecological needs of a variety of species to ensure realistic yet expressive movement. Storyboard artists meticulously planned chase sequences, comedic beats, and character interactions, ensuring that pacing, visual clarity, and narrative coherence were maintained. Voice actors were encouraged to improvise during recording sessions, providing naturalistic dialogue and enhancing comedic timing. The production team also implemented advanced lighting and shading techniques to convey mood, time of day, and environmental conditions, from the reflective wet streets of the neon quarter to the dappled sunlight filtering through verdant district foliage. As the narrative approaches its climax, tension peaks during a multi-stage sequence that combines investigation, chase, and confrontation. Gary DeSnake's final plan, revealed to involve both a citywide infrastructure exploit and manipulation of social fears, forces Judy, Nick, and their allies to act with precision, courage, and empathy. The final confrontation takes place across multiple districts simultaneously, demonstrating both the city's spatial complexity and the characters' capacity for coordination. The sequence is a masterclass in animation choreography. Camera movements follow multiple characters, environmental hazards dynamically shift, and musical cues heighten suspense without overwhelming the audience. Resolution is achieved through a combination of clever problem-solving, ethical decision-making, and collective action. Characters from multiple districts, herbivores, predators, and omnivores alike, participate in neutralizing the threat, emphasizing the film's thematic focus on collaboration and social responsibility. Gary DeSnake is apprehended not solely through force but through understanding, negotiation, and the exposure of his manipulative tactics, reinforcing that justice in Zootopia is not just about punishment but about accountability, reconciliation, and the restoration of trust. Visual storytelling highlights the city's recovery, citizens rebuilding damaged infrastructure, communities celebrating renewed harmony, and personal reconciliations between characters who had experienced conflict or mistrust. The film concludes by reaffirming the growth of Judy and Nick. Their partnership, tested and strengthened throughout the narrative, exemplifies the values of trust, communication, and empathy. Secondary characters are granted resolution arcs that reflect their contributions to the plot, emphasizing interconnectedness and community. The city itself, depicted with renewed vibrancy and activity, symbolizes resilience, adaptation, and hope, leaving audiences with a sense of both satisfaction and anticipation for potential future stories. Following the climactic resolution, the film takes time to explore the quieter, everyday moments that illustrate the city's return to balance and the personal growth of its inhabitants. Judy and Nick, while celebrated as heroes, spend scenes engaging with citizens affected by the events, demonstrating empathy and responsibility. One scene depicts Judy assisting a family of otters whose canal homes were damaged, coordinating both city resources and community volunteers. Nick provides support with his trademark charm and humor, diffusing tension with well-timed quips that elicit laughter not only from characters but from the audience. These sequences highlight the film's ability to balance heroism with grounded, socially conscious storytelling, showing that leadership involves both problem-solving and human, or, more accurately, animal, connection. Extended comedic sequences enrich the narrative further. A particularly memorable scene involves a malfunctioning robot street cleaner in the neon quarter. Its erratic movements cause a chain reaction that forces multiple species to cooperate in creative ways to avoid chaos. Rabbits leap to safety, raccoons redirect the machinery with improvised tools, and a flock of birds guides pedestrians out of the path. This scene operates on multiple levels. It provides visual humor, reinforces themes of cooperation and adaptability, and showcases the animator's skill in choreographing complex group dynamics with clarity and comedic timing. Minor gags, like a chameleon blending incorrectly with a neon sign, or a sloth's painfully slow rescue attempt, punctuate the scene, ensuring continuous engagement without undermining narrative stakes. The dialogue throughout these sequences is layered with character nuance. Nick's sarcasm and clever wordplay contrast with Judy's earnest problem-solving, creating a rhythm that highlights both humor and moral lessons. In one dialogue-heavy sequence during a community rebuilding event, Nick quips about the bureaucratic absurdity of city permits, while Judy reminds him that rules exist for reason and equity. The exchange evolves into a discussion about fairness, responsibility, and the balance between efficiency and empathy, reflecting the film's commitment to social commentary. Secondary characters contribute their own perspectives, from Clover's naive enthusiasm to the Raccoon Gang's streetwise pragmatism, creating a tapestry of voices that enrich the narrative and expand the audience's understanding of Zootopia's diverse population. The film is rich with Easter eggs and references to the original Zootopia, as well as the broader Disney animated universe. In addition to newspaper headlines and subtle graffiti nods, there are visual references. A small red and yellow balloon shaped like a duck from DuckTales floats through a scene in the Neon Quarter, a sign for Wally Electronics is visible on a building, and a minor character wears a t-shirt depicting Simba from The Lion King. These references reward attentive viewers and reinforce continuity, while also demonstrating the filmmaker's playful engagement with Disney history. Fans familiar with the first film will appreciate callbacks to Judy's early struggles, Nick's witty cons, and previously established city locales. Production insights reveal the meticulous planning behind these sequences. The animation team conducted extensive studies of species-specific movement, social interaction, and environmental adaptation. For example, sequences involving the malfunctioning robot required simulations of hundreds of characters interacting with moving obstacles, balancing realism with expressive exaggeration. Lighting, reflection, and particle effects were used strategically to convey mood, time of day, and environmental hazards. Voice actors contributed to the naturalism and humor of the sequences, often improvising or adjusting timing to match visual pacing. The collaboration between animators, storyboard artists, voice actors, and composers resulted in sequences that are simultaneously visually stunning, narratively coherent, and emotionally resonant. Marketing and merchandising for Zootopia 2 capitalized on the film's expansive world. Trailers emphasized returning characters, action sequences, and the introduction of new districts and species. Interactive campaigns allowed audiences to explore virtual cityscapes, unlocking hidden clues or Easter eggs, thereby engaging fans directly with the narrative. Merchandise, including figurines, apparel, and activity sets, highlighted the city's diversity and new characters, promoting audience connection beyond the theater. Music marketing emphasized Shakira's new song, Coritin with Ed Sheeran and Blake Slatkin, with music videos incorporating film visuals and character performances. The integrated marketing approach reinforced the film's themes of collaboration, cultural richness, and social awareness. Extended thematic analysis reveals the depth of Zootopia 2. Beyond action and comedy, the film engages with real-world social issues, the consequences of prejudice, the challenges of diversity, ethical leadership, and the balance between rules and empathy. Characters' choices consistently reflect these themes, from Judy's principled decision-making to Nick's pragmatic moral reasoning. Minor characters' arcs reinforce lessons about resilience, community engagement, and the importance of understanding multiple perspectives. Environmental storytelling, through city design, district culture, and species interactions, supports these themes, illustrating the interplay between personal action and systemic context. The film's conclusion is carefully layered. Citizens rebuild, relationships mend, and new collaborations form across species lines. Judy and Nick's partnership is strengthened, demonstrating growth, trust, and shared ethical commitment. Secondary characters achieve satisfying resolutions, reflecting their contributions to the story and the broader societal recovery. The city itself is depicted with renewed vibrancy, signaling optimism, adaptability, and the enduring capacity for cooperation. These final sequences employ sweeping visuals, coordinated animation, and musical cues to provide both narrative closure and emotional resonance. Zootopia 2 also subtly foreshadows potential future stories. The city continues to grow and change, minor conflicts hint at unresolved tensions, and secondary characters are positioned for further development. These elements provide narrative continuity and audience anticipation, leaving room for additional sequels or spin-offs without diminishing the satisfaction of the current story. The balance between resolution and forward-looking storytelling reflects Disney's commitment to both narrative depth and franchise longevity. In sum, Zootopia 2 exemplifies the qualities that made the first film beloved: a richly imagined world, complex and relatable characters, sophisticated social commentary, technical animation excellence, and a harmonious blend of humor, action, and emotion. Through its continuous narrative, layered character arcs, intricate cityscapes, and integration of music and visual storytelling, the film creates an immersive, meaningful, and entertaining experience. From the smallest comedic beats to the largest citywide confrontations, every element is designed to reinforce thematic depth, character growth, and audience engagement. The movie's success lies in its ability to entertain while provoking thought. By depicting a city where diversity is both celebrated and challenged, Zootopia 2 encourages audiences to consider how personal actions, social systems, and collective effort shape the world. The interplay of humor, suspense, and ethical dilemmas ensures that the film resonates across demographics, offering enjoyment and reflection for children and adults alike. With its careful attention to detail, expansive narrative scope, and emotionally rich character arcs, Zootopia 2 stands as a landmark in animated storytelling, exemplifying Disney's ability to blend artistry, narrative sophistication, and meaningful social commentary in a single, immersive cinematic experience. Zootopia 2 is the eagerly awaited sequel to the 2016 animated phenomenon, Zootopia, returning audiences to a metropolis bustling with anthropomorphic animals and layered social dynamics. Produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, this sequel continues the adventures of Judy Hopps, Zootopia's first rabbit police officer, and Nick Wilde, her clever and resourceful fox partner, as they navigate new challenges that test both their skills and their moral compass. Directed by Jared Bush and Byron Howard, both of whom contributed to the original film's creation, Zootopia 2 preserves the heart, humor, and visual brilliance that made the first installment a cultural touchstone. With a runtime of 108 minutes, the film skillfully blends action, comedy, and social commentary, appealing to children and adults alike while maintaining the franchise's signature depth. The city of Zootopia itself plays a central role, depicted as a dynamic urban ecosystem where species of all shapes and sizes coexist. In this sequel, the filmmakers introduce previously unseen districts, each reflecting unique ecological and social systems. The Neon Quarter dazzles with high-tech displays, holographic signage, and fast-moving transit systems, while the Verdant District showcases lush greenery, open plazas, and natural waterways, emphasizing a harmonious environment for herbivorous species. These contrasting districts not only provide visual spectacle but also serve as a narrative tool, exploring how environment shapes behavior and social interactions. By expanding the city's geography, Zootopia 2 deepens world-building and creates opportunities for diverse storytelling. The narrative is driven by a new antagonist, Gary the Snake, a cunning and intelligent reptilian villain whose manipulations threaten the city's fragile harmony. Unlike conventional villains, Gary's schemes are psychological as much as criminal, exploiting latent prejudices and societal fears to sow division. His plans unfold gradually, with subtle clues, red herrings, and strategic misdirection that challenge both Judy and Nick and the audience. Through his character, the film explores themes of bias, fear, and the consequences of misinformation, encouraging viewers to reflect on similar dynamics in the real world. Judy Hopps, voiced by Jennifer Goodwin, exemplifies determination, empathy, and ethical fortitude. Throughout the film, she faces situations where rules, personal loyalty, and societal pressures intersect, requiring nuanced judgment. Jason Bateman's Nick Wilde complements her, offering street-smart pragmatism and emotional insight. Their partnership, tested through complex investigations and moral dilemmas, remains the heart of the film. Secondary characters, such as Clover, a young aspiring rabbit officer, and Dr. Fuzby, a quokka therapist, provide both comic relief and narrative support, while returning favorites like Gazelle, voiced by Shakira, and Chief Bogo, voiced by Idris Elba, reinforce continuity and character depth. The film's plot is richly layered, alternating between investigative sequences, high-stakes chases, and quieter character moments. In the transit hub, multi-level platforms, moving trains, and bustling crowds create a dynamic backdrop for an early chase scene that tests Judy's agility and Nick's cunning. Comedic moments punctuate tense sequences, from a malfunctioning robot street cleaner to distracted sloth security officers, balancing suspense with humor. Side plots interweave seamlessly, including Clover's mentorship arc and the adventures of a street-savvy raccoon gang, reinforcing themes of collaboration, resilience, and ethical decision-making. Visual storytelling in Zootopia 2 reaches new heights. Advanced animation techniques render detailed textures, realistic lighting, and lifelike movement, from fur and scales to environmental effects such as water reflections and particle interactions. Crowd choreography demonstrates species-specific behaviors, creating a living, breathing city. Environmental design enhances thematic storytelling, emphasizing diversity, cooperation, and adaptation. Musical elements, composed by Michael Giacchino, underscore action, emotional beats, and comedic sequences, while Shakira's original song reinforces themes of unity and resilience, integrating seamlessly with both diegetic and non-diegetic elements. The climax is a masterclass in narrative and technical execution. Gary the Snake's plan, involving citywide manipulation and exploitation of social fears, is revealed across multiple districts, necessitating strategic coordination among Judy, Nick, and their allies. The resolution emphasizes collaboration, ethical decision-making, and social reconciliation. Citizens from various districts participate in neutralizing the threat, reflecting the film's central theme that collective action and mutual understanding are essential for societal harmony. The city's recovery, along with the personal growth of the characters, provides a satisfying narrative closure while leaving room for future stories. Easter eggs and intertextual references enrich the viewing experience. Newspaper headlines, graffiti, and visual nods connect to the original Zootopia film and the broader Disney animated universe, rewarding attentive fans. Clever humor, both visual and verbal, runs throughout, appealing to multiple audience demographics and reinforcing the city's cultural richness. Production insights reveal extensive research into animal behavior, urban planning, and animation techniques, ensuring authenticity and expressive storytelling. Voice actors contributed improvisation and emotional depth, enhancing character interactions and comedic timing. Marketing and merchandising extended the audience's engagement with the world of Zootopia. Trailers emphasized both continuity and novelty, highlighting returning characters, new districts, and plot intrigue. Interactive campaigns and merchandise, including figurines, apparel, and themed activity sets, encouraged exploration of the city and its inhabitants. Music promotion highlighted Shakira's original song, further integrating the film's narrative and cultural resonance. These efforts reflected Disney's commitment to creating a cohesive, immersive experience across multiple platforms. Thematically, Zootopia 2 continues to explore prejudice, social cohesion, and ethical leadership while introducing new complexities. Characters' choices illustrate the challenges of balancing personal values, societal expectations, and systemic pressures. The film emphasizes empathy, dialogue, and creative problem-solving as means to navigate conflicts, both personal and communal. Environmental storytelling, musical integration, and character arcs reinforce these messages, creating a layered and immersive experience. The narrative highlights that societal harmony requires ongoing effort, trust, and ethical action, offering meaningful lessons for audiences of all ages. In its quieter moments, the film portrays the city's ongoing life and character growth. Judy and Nick engage with citizens, resolve minor conflicts, and participate in community rebuilding, reflecting the sustained impact of their actions. Side characters experience closure or advancement, demonstrating interconnectedness and community resilience. Visual storytelling, from sweeping cityscapes to intimate character expressions, reinforces the narrative's emotional depth. The city's vibrancy, rebuilt infrastructure, and renewed communal interactions symbolize optimism, adaptation, and hope for the future. Zootopia 2's conclusion balances resolution with narrative potential. While the main threat is neutralized and the city restored, subtle narrative cues suggest ongoing challenges, minor conflicts, and character development opportunities. This approach maintains narrative closure while leaving the door open for potential sequels, spin-offs, or expanded universe stories. The film succeeds in delivering both entertainment and social reflection, achieving the dual goals of audience engagement and meaningful storytelling. In summary, Zootopia 2 stands as a testament to Disney Animation's mastery of character-driven storytelling, technical animation excellence, and thematic depth. Through meticulous world-building, complex character arcs, humor, suspense, and layered social commentary, the film creates an immersive, emotionally resonant experience. From high-stakes chase sequences to subtle character interactions, every scene contributes to a cohesive and compelling narrative. Its exploration of diversity, ethics, empathy, and collaboration ensures that the film resonates across demographics, offering both enjoyment and meaningful reflection. By combining artistry, technology, and narrative sophistication, Zootopia 2 reaffirms Disney's ability to craft animated films that are not only entertaining but also socially and culturally relevant. The story of Zootopia 2 begins in a city that has flourished since the events of the first film. Streets hum with activity as species of every shape and size move through meticulously designed districts, each reflecting unique cultural, environmental, and social dynamics. Early morning scenes show rabbits hustling to work, foxes navigating the streets with a mix of caution and charm, and sloths moving at their characteristic slow pace in various public offices. These opening sequences not only establish the city's rhythm but also subtly highlight ongoing societal dynamics, such as interspecies cooperation, subtle biases, and the logistical challenges of urban life in a metropolis with highly diverse inhabitants. The filmmaker's attention to detail is evident in the texture of fur glistening under sunlight, the intricate reflections on glass skyscrapers, and the realistic rustle of leaves and city debris, creating an immersive, living world from the very first moments. Judy Hopps, now a seasoned police officer, reflects on her journey and the responsibilities that come with her role. Despite her professional successes, she is aware of the complexities inherent in maintaining social harmony. Jason Bateman's Nick Wilde, equally experienced, balances Judy's idealism with his pragmatic approach to problem-solving, often highlighting the nuances of navigating the city's moral and ethical landscape. Their partnership remains central, with early dialogue exchanges demonstrating humor, trust, and foreshadowing challenges to come. A humorous moment occurs when Nick sarcastically critiques Judy's overly meticulous organization of the police department's case files, only for a sudden office mishap to validate her careful methods, eliciting both laughter and narrative reinforcement. The antagonist, Gary the Snake, is introduced with subtle menace. His lair, hidden within a complex network of abandoned transit tunnels, is filled with maps, models of city districts, and notes tracking interspecies tensions. Gary's manipulations are strategic, psychological, and socially aware. He seeks to exploit existing prejudices to incite fear and division, demonstrating a level of sophistication that elevates him beyond a typical villain. Early hints of his schemes are scattered throughout the city: misdirected reports, cryptic communications, and anomalies in transportation systems. These narrative breadcrumbs allow the audience to engage in deduction alongside Judy and Nick, heightening tension and investment in the investigation. The film delves deeply into character development through both main and secondary arcs. Clover, a young rabbit aspiring to follow in Judy's footsteps, shadows her during initial investigation sequences. Clover's mistakes, accidentally triggering a cascade of falling crates in the Neon Quarter, introduce both comedic relief and narrative utility, as these incidents inadvertently reveal key clues. Dr. Fuzby, a quokka therapist, offers psychological insight into community unrest and individual motivations, providing a unique lens through which to understand both Judy and Nick's internal struggles. Secondary arcs involving a Raccoon Street gang navigating urban survival, a family of beavers working to rebuild infrastructure, and a group of fox adolescents learning lessons about trust and responsibility further enrich the city's ecosystem and provide nuanced reflections on interspecies cooperation. Action sequences are choreographed with meticulous care, blending suspense, humor, and environmental storytelling. In the Neon Quarter, a chase sequence spans multiple levels of elevated platforms and moving trains, requiring Judy's agility and Nick's ingenuity to overcome obstacles. Animators employed advanced simulations to coordinate hundreds of characters and interactive elements, ensuring clarity amid complex movement. Comedic elements, such as sloth security officers moving at excruciatingly slow speeds and chameleons blending incorrectly into neon advertisements, enhance engagement without undermining narrative stakes. Visual cues, dynamic camera angles, and synchronized musical motifs contribute to both excitement and emotional resonance. The film's cityscapes serve not merely as background but as active participants in the narrative. The Neon Quarter, Verdant District, and newly introduced residential and industrial areas each have distinct architecture, cultural markers, and environmental challenges. Urban planning and environmental storytelling are used to advance plot, create obstacles, and reflect thematic undercurrents of diversity, adaptation, and cooperation. Subtle visual storytelling elements, such as reflections in puddles, shifting light patterns, and species-specific behaviors in crowd sequences, reinforce immersion and narrative depth. Easter eggs and intertextual references abound. From subtle newspaper headlines referencing past cases, missing mammal mysteries solved, to background graffiti nods to other Disney films, these details reward observant viewers. For example, a digital billboard features a stylized Wall-E logo, while a minor character's shirt displays Simba from The Lion King. Callbacks to Judy and Nick's previous adventures, along with continuity nods to the original film's events, strengthen narrative cohesion and fan engagement. Musical elements, composed by Michael Giacchino, are intricately woven into the narrative. Dynamic motifs correspond to character presence, emotional beats, and narrative tension, while Shakira's original song operates as both diegetic and non-diegetic music, linking scenes thematically and emotionally. The score accentuates suspense during investigative sequences, elevates humor in comedic sequences, and underscores resolution moments with sweeping orchestral arrangements that celebrate collective action and social harmony. The climax is an intricate, city-spanning sequence in which Gary DeSnake attempts to destabilize Zootopia's infrastructure while exploiting social tensions. Judy, Nick, Clover, and multiple community members coordinate efforts across districts, blending problem-solving, ethical decision-making, and courageous action. Visual storytelling integrates multiple perspectives, simultaneous action across locations, and dynamic environmental interactions. Resolution is achieved not through force alone but through strategic insight, ethical choices, and collaborative engagement, reinforcing the film's central themes of empathy, cooperation, and accountability. Post-climactic sequences explore the city's recovery, character growth, and societal reflection. Judy and Nick engage with citizens, assist in rebuilding projects, and participate in communal celebrations. Minor characters achieve closure, side plots resolve, and the city demonstrates resilience, adaptability, and renewed cohesion. Humorous sequences, such as the street gang improvising solutions to logistical challenges or Clover mentoring younger rabbits, provide levity while reinforcing narrative continuity. These sequences emphasize that societal progress is ongoing and multifaceted, requiring both individual responsibility and collective effort. Production insights reveal the film's technical mastery. Animators studied species-specific motion, environmental interaction, and social behaviors to ensure authenticity and expressive exaggeration. Advanced lighting, shading, and particle simulations were employed to achieve realism while maintaining visual storytelling clarity. Voice actors improvised dialogue to enhance timing, emotional resonance, and comedic effect. Collaborative coordination among animators, storyboard artists, composers, and sound designers resulted in sequences that are simultaneously entertaining, emotionally engaging, and technically impressive. Marketing and merchandising strategies capitalized on Zootopia 2's narrative richness and expanded universe. Trailers highlighted returning characters, new districts, and plot intrigue. Interactive campaigns allowed fans to explore the city virtually, uncover Easter eggs, and engage with the narrative beyond the theater. Merchandise, including figurines, apparel, and themed activity sets, reinforced audience immersion and connection to characters. Music promotion highlighted Shakira's song, enhancing cultural resonance and extending engagement. These campaigns were carefully aligned with the film's thematic focus on diversity, cooperation, and resilience. The film's thematic depth is consistently reinforced through narrative, environmental, and musical storytelling. Issues of prejudice, systemic bias, ethical decision-making, and community cohesion are explored through character choices, dialogue, and plot developments. Visual metaphors, such as the contrasting districts and interspecies cooperation during crises, underscore these lessons. By presenting these themes organically, Zootopia 2 engages audiences thoughtfully while remaining entertaining and accessible to children. The conclusion of the film balances resolution and narrative potential. Gary the Snake is apprehended, the city recovers, and characters demonstrate growth and ethical maturity. Subtle foreshadowing hints at future challenges, new character arcs, and ongoing societal dynamics, leaving room for subsequent installments while providing satisfying closure. The final sequences celebrate Zootopia's vibrancy, diversity, and adaptability, reinforcing optimism, resilience, and collective responsibility as core messages. Zootopia 2 opens with the city in the early hours of a new day, bustling with life and layered activity. Birds chirp in carefully rendered urban trees, puddles glint with reflections of towering skyscrapers, and streets hum with the distinct rhythm of a metropolis inhabited by hundreds of animal species. Rabbits hop briskly to work while foxes weave through traffic with a mix of caution and swagger. Sloths, ever deliberate, manage administrative duties at the Zootopia Postal Department, their comedic pacing contrasting sharply with the city's energy. These opening sequences establish both the city's vibrancy and its social dynamics, from interspecies interactions to the subtle hierarchies that guide daily life. The filmmakers employ painstaking attention to detail, each character's movement reflects their anatomy and personality, environmental effects, light, shadow, rain, wind, interact realistically with surfaces, and background animations, such as passing hover cars or flocks of birds, create a living, breathing world. Judy Hopps, now a seasoned officer, reflects on her journey, balancing ambition with ethical responsibility. Jason Bateman's Nick Wilde, equally experienced, provides the pragmatic counterpoint to Judy's idealism. Their early exchanges showcase humor, camaraderie, and foreshadow upcoming challenges. In one scene, Judy meticulously organizes police reports, prompting Nick to quip about her obsession with order, only for an office mishap to validate her carefulness. This interplay establishes narrative tone, character dynamics, and sets the stage for the investigations ahead. The introduction of Gary the Snake elevates the stakes. His lair, located deep within abandoned transit tunnels, contains an array of tools, maps, and surveillance devices. Unlike conventional villains, Gary's threat is psychological as well as logistical. He manipulates societal biases to foment unrest. Early sequences hint at his plans, misdirected reports, anonymous warnings, and small anomalies in transportation. Through these, the audience is invited to engage in a deductive experience, following clues alongside Judy and Nick. Gary's sophisticated approach to villainy underscores the film's emphasis on intelligence, strategy, and social commentary. Secondary arcs enrich the narrative. Clover, a young rabbit aspiring to emulate Judy, provides a lens into the next generation of law enforcement. Her mistakes, including an accidental domino effect of falling crates in the Neon Quarter, serve both as comedic relief and narrative devices, inadvertently revealing clues critical to solving Gary's schemes. Dr. Fuzby, a quokka therapist, offers psychological insights into citizens affected by societal unrest, adding depth to the film's exploration of prejudice and social cohesion. Subplots involving a Raccoon Street gang navigating the city, a family of beavers rebuilding communal infrastructure, and fox adolescents learning lessons about trust, responsibility, and ethical decision-making create a tapestry of experiences that reflects Zootopia's diversity. The film's action sequences are meticulously choreographed. A chase through the Neon Quarter spans elevated walkways, moving trains, and bustling plazas. Judy's agility and Nick's improvisation are highlighted as they navigate dynamic obstacles. Comedic beats are interwoven seamlessly, distracted sloth officers, malfunctioning drones, and a group of chameleons blending incorrectly with neon signs add humor while maintaining narrative tension. Animators used advanced simulations to coordinate crowds, interactive environments, and fast-paced movement, ensuring clarity and emotional engagement. Close-up shots capture nuanced expressions, from a sly smirk to a subtle ear twitch, enhancing character relatability. Environmental storytelling plays a central role. The Neon Quarter contrasts with the verdant district, where lush greenery, waterways, and open spaces provide both visual diversity and narrative utility. In the verdant district, Gary exploits natural environments for strategic misdirection, while Judy and Nick adapt, demonstrating problem-solving, teamwork, and respect for ecological systems. Each district reinforces thematic undercurrents of diversity, adaptability, and cooperation. Background details, such as species-specific interactions, signs of community life, and environmental hazards, further immerse the audience in the world. Easter eggs and intertextual references reward attentive viewers. Headlines in newspapers reference prior cases, graffiti nods to Disney films, and background signage includes subtle homages to Wall-E, The Lion King, and Big Hero 6. Callbacks to the original Zootopia, from minor character mentions to visual references of previous events, reinforce continuity and reward fan engagement. These details are integrated organically, enhancing the sense of a lived-in city and continuity across the franchise. Music and sound design are integral. Michael Giacchino's score adapts dynamically, signaling emotional shifts, suspense, and humor. Shakira's original song operates both diegetically and non-diegetically, weaving through scenes to highlight themes of resilience, unity, and collaboration. Sound design reinforces realism, footsteps, rustling fur, city ambience, and species-specific noises all contribute to immersion. The climax is an intricate, city-wide sequence. Gary's plan to destabilize infrastructure and exploit social fears culminates in a multi-district confrontation. Judy, Nick, Clover, and supporting characters coordinate strategically, blending intelligence, moral courage, and collaboration. Action, suspense, and humor converge as citizens across Zootopia participate, emphasizing themes of collective responsibility. Resolution is achieved not through brute force but through ethics, insight, and communal effort, demonstrating the narrative's central messages about social cohesion and problem-solving. Post-climax, the film explores recovery and reflection. Citizens rebuild, relationships mend, and community cooperation is highlighted. Side plots resolve, including Clover's personal growth, the raccoon gang's ethical choices, and minor characters' reconciliation arcs. Humorous moments, such as collaborative improvisation during rebuilding, maintain engagement while reinforcing thematic content. The city's visual depiction, vibrant streets, restored districts, and lively communal interactions, symbolizes resilience, adaptation, and optimism. Production anecdotes reveal the painstaking efforts behind the film. Animators studied real-world animal behavior, city planning, and social dynamics to achieve authenticity. Voice actors improvised to enhance timing, humor, and emotional resonance. Lighting, shading, and particle simulations created realistic environmental interactions, while storyboard artists meticulously planned chase sequences, comedic beats, and character interactions. Collaborative work between teams ensured visual clarity, narrative coherence, and emotional impact. Marketing strategies complemented the narrative's richness. Trailers highlighted returning characters, new districts, and narrative intrigue. Interactive campaigns allowed fans to explore city districts virtually, uncovering Easter eggs and plot hints. Merchandise, figurines, clothing, and activity sets reinforced immersion and character attachment. Music promotion featured Shakira's song, linking narrative and marketing for maximal audience engagement. Thematically, Zootopia 2 delves into prejudice, societal responsibility, empathy, and ethical leadership. Characters' choices, whether Judy mediating disputes, Nick navigating skepticism, or minor characters bridging cultural gaps, illustrate these lessons organically. Environmental storytelling, musical integration, and detailed animation reinforce these messages, engaging audiences of all ages while promoting reflection on real-world societal challenges. The conclusion balances narrative closure with forward-looking potential. Gary is apprehended, the city recovers, and characters demonstrate growth. Subtle cues suggest ongoing challenges, minor conflicts, and room for future adventures, ensuring continuity without undermining satisfaction. The city's vibrancy and communal harmony exemplify optimism, resilience, and the enduring value of cooperation. Zootopia 2 stands as a hallmark of animated storytelling, blending technical excellence, character depth, humor, action, and meaningful social commentary. Every scene, from high-stakes chases to intimate interactions, contributes to narrative cohesion, thematic resonance, and audience engagement. The film's meticulous attention to detail, sophisticated world-building, and layered storytelling reaffirm Disney's capacity to create content that is both entertaining and socially relevant, appealing to children, adults, and longtime fans alike. It represents a complete, immersive, and thoughtful cinematic experience that sets a new benchmark for animated sequels. Zootopia 2 opens with the city waking to a bustling dawn, the streets alive with movement as rabbits hop briskly to work, foxes weave through the crowds with a mix of caution and charm, and sloths perform their deliberate tasks at the Zootopia Postal Department, providing a humorous contrast to the city's high energy. Sunlight filters through urban trees, glinting off puddles and reflecting skyscrapers, while species-specific behaviors subtly illustrate the city's social dynamics and ongoing interspecies interactions. Judy Hopps, now a seasoned police officer, reflects on her role and responsibilities, balancing her ambition with an understanding of the complexities inherent in maintaining harmony, while Nick Wilde provides a pragmatic, often sarcastic counterpoint, teasing her meticulousness even as a small office mishap proves her point. The story quickly introduces the antagonist, Gary the Snake, a cunning reptilian villain who resides in an abandoned transit tunnel filled with maps, surveillance tools, and models of city districts, demonstrating both his intelligence and his plan to exploit societal biases to incite fear and division. Early anomalies in transportation systems and misdirected reports foreshadow his schemes, inviting audiences to follow clues alongside Judy and Nick. Simultaneously, secondary arcs unfold, including Clover, a young rabbit aspiring to follow in Judy's footsteps, who shadows her mentor and unwittingly triggers a cascade of crates in the Neon Quarter that, while comedic, reveals key information crucial to the investigation. Other side stories, such as a raccoon street gang navigating urban survival, a beaver family rebuilding infrastructure, and fox adolescents learning lessons about trust and responsibility, enrich the city's ecosystem and reinforce themes of collaboration, resilience, and ethical decision-making. Action sequences are elaborately choreographed, particularly a multi-level chase through the Neon Quarter and Transit Hub, featuring elevated walkways, moving trains, and bustling crowds. Judy's agility and Nick's ingenuity are highlighted as they navigate environmental obstacles, while comedic beats, such as distracted sloth security officers, malfunctioning drones, and chameleons blending incorrectly with neon advertisements, interweave humor without undermining tension. Easter eggs abound, from newspaper headlines referencing past cases to subtle Disney nods including Wall-E and Simba, rewarding attentive viewers and reinforcing continuity with the first film. The Verdant District, with its lush greenery and waterways, provides a contrasting backdrop where Gary manipulates the natural environment for misdirection, compelling Judy and Nick to demonstrate problem-solving, teamwork, and respect for ecological systems. The film's musical score by Michael Giacchino dynamically adapts to both action and emotion, while Shakira's original song functions diegetically and non-diegetically, linking scenes thematically and enhancing emotional resonance. The climax is an intricate, city-spanning sequence in which Gary attempts to destabilize infrastructure while exploiting societal fears, requiring Judy, Nick, Clover, and supporting citizens to coordinate strategically. The narrative emphasizes ethics, insight, and communal effort over brute force, with simultaneous action across districts highlighting both the city's complexity and the characters' capacity for collaboration. Post-climactic sequences explore the city's recovery and character growth, infrastructure is restored, relationships mend, minor arcs resolve, and the city demonstrates resilience and cohesion. Humorous sequences, such as the raccoon gang improvising logistical solutions and Clover mentoring younger rabbits, provide levity while reinforcing narrative continuity. Visual storytelling, from sweeping cityscapes to intimate character expressions, illustrates that societal progress requires both individual responsibility and collective action. Production insights reveal the meticulous work behind Zootopia 2, including studies of animal behavior, environmental interaction, and city planning to ensure authenticity. Animators coordinated crowd simulations, lighting, particle effects, and species-specific movements, while voice actors improvised dialogue to enhance comedic timing and emotional resonance. Storyboard artists meticulously planned chase sequences, comedic beats, and character interactions, resulting in sequences that are visually stunning, narratively coherent, and emotionally engaging. Marketing and merchandising extended audience engagement, with trailers highlighting returning characters, new districts, and narrative intrigue, interactive campaigns allowing fans to explore virtual cityscapes, and merchandise such as figurines and activity sets reinforcing character attachment. Music promotion emphasized Shakira's original song, further integrating narrative and marketing efforts. Thematically, Zootopia 2 examines prejudice, societal responsibility, empathy, and ethical leadership, using character decisions, environmental storytelling, and musical cues to embed lessons organically. Judy's principled problem-solving, Nick's pragmatic reasoning, and minor characters' contributions illustrate that cooperation, dialogue, and moral courage are essential for a thriving society. The film balances resolution with future possibilities. Gary the Snake is apprehended, the city recovers, and characters demonstrate growth, while subtle cues hint at ongoing societal challenges and potential future narratives. Ultimately, Zootopia 2 delivers an immersive, comprehensive experience that blends technical animation excellence, humor, suspense, and meaningful social commentary, reaffirming Disney Animation's capacity to craft films that are entertaining, emotionally resonant, and culturally relevant, leaving audiences of all ages both entertained and thoughtful. The city of Zootopia awakens under a soft, golden light, its streets alive with movement and sound. In the Neon Quarter, towering skyscrapers glint in the morning sun while holographic advertisements flicker across glass facades. Rabbits hop briskly through crosswalks, briefcases in paw, while foxes weave between them with practiced agility, pausing briefly to give sly winks to familiar vendors. Sloths, in stark contrast, crawl along the postal department counter, moving at their characteristic glacial pace, prompting a mixture of amusement and mild frustration from the citizens around them. A small puddle reflects the hustle of the streets, capturing the rippling reflections of pedestrians and hover cars alike. Judy hops, kneeling to straighten a misplaced stack of police reports, mutters under her breath, "Some things never change, chaos before breakfast," earning a sharp grin from Nick Wilde, who lounges against the doorway, tail flicking lazily. Chaos is a lifestyle choice, carrots. You should try it sometime. When a sudden stack of papers topples onto him, he smirks sheepishly, conceding, "All right, maybe you have a point." Their banter immediately establishes their dynamic, Judy meticulous and idealistic, Nick clever and sardonic, but deeply loyal. Meanwhile, far below in the city's abandoned transit tunnels, Gary the Snake slithers through a dimly lit lair, maps of Zootopia pinned to the walls and miniature models of key districts scattered across tables. His eyes gleam with calculated intent as he marks strategic points along transit lines, canals, and pedestrian zones, plotting subtle manipulations to exploit societal tensions. A flicker of a surveillance monitor shows a raccoon gang sneaking through the Neon Quarter, Gary's forked tongue darts in amusement. Divide and confuse, he hisses softly, coiling around a blueprint of the verdant district, where lush greenery and winding waterways provide the perfect setting for misdirection. The tension here is palpable, not through violence but through strategy and foresight, setting him apart as a villain of intellect and cunning. Back above ground, Clover, a young rabbit recruit, shadows Judy with a mixture of awe and nerves. She accidentally nudges a stack of crates in the neon quarter, setting off a domino effect that sends boxes tumbling into a group of startled pedestrians. A chameleon in the crowd instantly changes color to match a nearby neon sign, blending almost perfectly before revealing a comical contrast when it steps into a patch of sunlight. Judy exclaims, "Careful, Clover." Observations first, action second, while Nick snickers, or third, maybe fourth. Clover blushes but notices a hidden document revealed by the falling crates, a clue that will later prove critical. This sequence balances humor with plot progression and subtly introduces Clover's growth arc, highlighting her eagerness and developing competence. The first major chase sequence begins in the transit hub, a vast multi-level structure filled with moving walkways, hover trains, and crowds of pedestrians. Judy dashes across platforms, her ears streaming behind her, while Nick navigates obstacles with calculated ingenuity, tipping turnstiles and using conveyor belts to redirect crowds. Sloth security officers lag behind, hilariously slow, barely registering the chaos around them. Above, neon signs flicker messages like, "Beware of Fox," or "Sloths at Work," amusingly interacting with the chase. A brief exchange between Judy and Nick underscores their trust. "Nick, the left turn." "I see it, carrots," but the crowd, a pigeon squawks indignantly as it narrowly avoids the pair, adding comic relief amidst tension. Easter eggs appear in the background, a digital billboard features a stylized Wall-E robot, and a small poster shows Simba leaping in a shadowed corner, a subtle nod to Disney's broader universe. Transitioning to the verdant district, the narrative contrasts environments. Sunlight dapples open plazas, waterways glisten, and species-specific architecture showcases harmony with nature. Gary's manipulation continues here, creating a maze of moving bridges, hidden passages, and canal obstructions to evade capture. Judy and Nick must adapt, working closely to interpret environmental clues. Judy spots a loose bridge plank and exclaims, "Nick, careful." One wrong step, Nick leaps expertly, snatching her paw mid-fall with a grin, "Trust me, I've got you." Their teamwork illustrates character growth, mutual respect, and the blending of skill sets. Secondary characters, including the raccoon gang and beaver family, contribute strategically, using local knowledge and clever improvisation to assist the duo, reinforcing themes of cooperation across species lines. Comedic beats punctuate tense moments. A malfunctioning street cleaning robot barrels down a narrow alley, narrowly missing a family of hedgehogs who curl defensively. Sloths inch along a wall, attempting to redirect its path, while Nick slyly manipulates a loose pipe to nudge it safely aside. Meanwhile, Clover, gaining confidence, directs a small flock of birds to provide aerial surveillance, her initiative marking a turning point in her mentorship arc. Visual storytelling abounds, reflections in puddles, sunlight filtering through leaves, and city signs blending species-specific humor enrich each frame. The score, composed by Michael Giacchino, adapts dynamically to the scene. Pizzicato strings accompany the comedic robot chase, while swelling brass signals tension and aerial sequences. Shakira's song plays subtly in a plaza scene where Gazelle rallies community members, its lyrics reinforcing unity and resilience. The climax spans multiple districts simultaneously. Gary the Snake activates citywide mechanisms, aiming to destabilize both infrastructure and social trust. Judy, Nick, Clover, and citizens coordinate to prevent chaos. Raccoons improvise bridge repairs, beavers redirect waterways, and fox adolescents guide evacuation. Each group's contribution demonstrates narrative layering and thematic emphasis on collaboration. Dialogue interspersed with action illustrates stakes and character growth. "We can't just wait," Judy shouts. "We won't," Nick replies. Clover directs a small team, "Over here, follow me." Humor remains integrated. Sloths slowly lift barriers, chameleons camouflaged in traffic signs provide unexpected assistance, ensuring tension never becomes oppressive. Gary is ultimately confronted through strategy, exposure of manipulation, and collective ethical action, rather than brute force, underscoring the film's moral framework. Post-climax, Zootopia undergoes recovery. Infrastructure is rebuilt, citizens engage in communal efforts, and minor character arcs conclude satisfyingly. Clover is recognized for her initiative, the raccoon gang gains respect, and Judy and Nick reflect on lessons learned. Humorous sequences persist, citizens improvise solutions, sloths slowly wave victory flags, and chameleons attempt subtle color displays, creating levity. The city is depicted as vibrant and resilient, symbolizing adaptability, cohesion, and optimism. Subtle foreshadowing hints at future challenges and potential sequels, leaving narrative threads open while providing closure. Production insights enhance appreciation for the film's craftsmanship. Animators meticulously studied species-specific movement, crowd dynamics, and environmental physics. Voice actors improvised to enhance timing, comedic beats, and emotional nuance. Lighting, shading, and particle simulations created realistic interactions between characters and environments, while storyboard artists coordinated multi-character, multi-location sequences with precision. Marketing strategies leveraged these elements, highlighting returning characters, new districts, and musical tie-ins. Merchandise, interactive campaigns, and Shakira's song further engaged audiences, reinforcing narrative and cultural resonance. Thematically, Zootopia 2 consistently explores prejudice, empathy, ethical decision-making, and collective responsibility. Characters' choices, from Judy's principled actions to Nick's pragmatic problem-solving and Clover's emerging leadership, demonstrate the complexity of societal dynamics. Environmental storytelling, music, and humor support these messages organically, creating a film that is both entertaining and meaningful. The final sequences reaffirm optimism, cooperation, and resilience, illustrating that a thriving society relies on ethical behavior, mutual understanding, and community engagement. Zootopia awakens under a warm, golden light as the city hums with life. In the neon quarter, towering skyscrapers gleam while holographic advertisements flicker across glass facades, birds dart through urban trees, and puddles mirror the vibrancy of the bustling streets. Rabbits hop briskly across crosswalks with briefcases, weaving through the crowd, while foxes glide skillfully between them, exchanging sly nods with vendors. Sloths inch along the postal department counter in exaggerated slow motion, amusing and frustrating the citizens around them. Judy hops kneels to straighten a stack of police reports, muttering under her breath about the predictable chaos of city mornings, while Nick Wilde leans lazily against a doorway, tail flicking, teasing that chaos is a lifestyle choice, only to be flattened by a falling stack of papers, conceding her point with a sheepish grin. Far below, in the abandoned transit tunnels, Gary the Snake slithers among dimly lit maps and miniature city models, flicking his tongue as he plots subtle manipulations to exploit societal biases, eyes glinting with strategic intent as he hisses, divide and confuse, over surveillance feeds of the neon quarter. Meanwhile, Clover, a young rabbit recruit, shadows Judy nervously and inadvertently knocks over a stack of crates, setting off a domino effect that comically reveals a hidden document crucial to the investigation, all while a chameleon in the crowd hilariously misblends with neon signs and sunlight. The action moves seamlessly to the transit hub, where Judy dashes across moving platforms and hover trains, ears streaming behind her, while Nick creatively redirects obstacles and crowds. Sloth security officers lag behind comically, and pigeons squawk in indignation as chaos ensues around them. Easter eggs abound in the background, from a digital billboard featuring a stylized Wall-E to a shadowed poster of Simba. Transitioning to the verdant district, sunlight dapples open plazas and waterways, and natural architecture harmonizes with the city. Judy spots a loose bridge plank and warns Nick, who leaps to grab her paw mid-fall, their teamwork a perfect blend of skill, trust, and humor. The raccoon gang and beaver family coordinate from the sidelines, while Clover directs a small flock of birds for aerial reconnaissance, signaling her growth. The musical score dynamically enhances tension, suspense, and comedy, with swelling orchestration and whimsical motifs underscoring both action and levity, setting the stage for the investigation and citywide adventure to come. Judy, Nick, and Clover begin their investigation by canvassing the neon quarter, questioning citizens and scanning the bustling streets for anomalies. The environment itself challenges them: elevated platforms, hover trains, and congested sidewalks force careful coordination, while neon signs flicker and reflect unpredictably on wet pavement, adding to the sensory overload. A raccoon gang observed near a suspicious warehouse leads them into a tense but humorous chase. Judy bounds over crates and conveyor belts with determined precision, Nick uses his cunning to manipulate obstacles, and Clover, still learning the ropes, provides unexpected insight by noticing subtle clues in the environment. Sloth security officers lag hilariously behind, providing comic relief, and a flock of pigeons reacts in chaos, squawking as they narrowly avoid the pursuing trio. Mini dialogues punctuate the action. Judy shouts instructions, Clover, cover the left side, while Nick quips, or right, or maybe a stylish spin, I'm feeling fancy today. Their teamwork, full of small missteps and improvisation, demonstrates both character development and relational depth. As they chase their quarry into the transit hub, the environment escalates the stakes. Moving platforms shift beneath their feet, automated doors slide unexpectedly, and streams of commuters, rabbits, foxes, and other anthropomorphic citizens, interact dynamically with the protagonist's maneuvers. A brief moment of levity occurs when Clover accidentally triggers a robot street cleaner, which barrels down a narrow corridor, narrowly missing a family of hedgehogs who curl defensively. Nick redirects a loose pipe to nudge the robot safely aside, eliciting a grateful nod from Judy and a wide-eyed grin from Clover. Environmental storytelling is meticulously layered. Holographic signs subtly advertise real-world Disney references, including Wall-E and Simba, while puddles, light patterns, and reflective surfaces offer both narrative clues and visual beauty. The chase naturally transitions to the verdant district, a verdant oasis contrasting sharply with the urban density of the Neon Quarter. Bridges, waterways, and leafy plazas create both obstacles and opportunities for creative problem-solving. Judy spots a loose bridge plank over a narrow canal and calls out a warning. Nick leaps, catching her paw mid-fall, their trust and synergy highlighted in a moment of suspense and grace. Secondary characters contribute strategically. The raccoon gang improvises barricades, the beaver family redirects minor water flows to hinder pursuers, and Clover directs birds to survey the scene from above, her growing confidence marking her emerging competence. The musical score heightens both tension and levity, swelling during high-stakes leaps and punctuating comedic mishaps with playful motifs, while Shakira's song subtly reinforces themes of resilience and unity in the background. Through these sequences, the narrative blends action, comedy, and character growth seamlessly. Every stumble, misstep, and improvised tactic not only heightens suspense but also deepens audience investment in the characters. Easter eggs continue to reward careful observation, from minor background graffiti to subtle nods to the first Zootopia film, while the choreography of movement across platforms, bridges, and water channels showcases the city as a dynamic, interactive character itself. By the end of this phase, Judy, Nick, and Clover have gathered crucial clues, strengthened their teamwork, and prepared for the escalation of Gary DeSnake's larger, citywide manipulations, setting the stage for the climactic confrontation. As the investigation progresses, the stakes escalate when Gary DeSnake activates his citywide plan to destabilize Zootopia. Across multiple districts simultaneously, subtle manipulations, blocked transit lines, erratic signage, and staged social tensions, threaten both infrastructure and public trust. Judy, Nick, and Clover, now joined by the raccoon gang, beaver family, and fox adolescents, must coordinate efforts across the Neon Quarter, transit hub, and verdant district, turning every neighborhood into a stage for suspense, strategy, and improvisation. Judy calls out instructions to citizens assisting in the effort: barricade that passage. Redirect the hover train, while Nick moves swiftly, using clever distractions to prevent panic. Clover directs birds overhead, relaying crucial information about blocked routes and suspicious activity, her confidence and leadership shining. The climax unfolds in a sweeping sequence of action and visual spectacle. Judy vaults over conveyor belts, leaps across narrow canal bridges, and uses her small size and agility to access tight spaces, while Nick employs cunning misdirections and urban cleverness, flipping switches and using environmental features to counter Gary's schemes. The raccoon gang improvises barricades and secures structural weaknesses, while the beaver family redirects minor waterways to prevent flooding and help civilians escape danger. Sloths inch dramatically into the frame, moving so slowly that their deliberate pace adds both tension and comic relief, while chameleons blend awkwardly into neon signs, unexpectedly helping mask critical escape routes. Each sequence blends suspense, humor, and clever problem-solving, emphasizing that the crisis is overcome not by brute force, but through intelligence, collaboration, and ethical action. Meanwhile, Gary the Snake navigates his lair, monitoring events with a mixture of frustration and calculation, realizing his manipulations are being countered by the city's cooperative response. His facial expressions and body language convey cunning and rising desperation, while the camera cuts between his perspective and the action above ground, heightening tension. Minor details reinforce continuity and fan engagement. Newspapers flutter across streets with headlines referencing previous cases, graffiti nods to Disney films, and reflective puddles echo prior chase sequences. The musical score escalates dramatically, with sweeping orchestral motifs emphasizing urgency, while punctuated comedic beats provide levity amidst chaos. The turning point occurs when the collaborative efforts of Judy, Nick, Clover, and the supporting citizens converge in a decisive sequence. Bridges are stabilized, hover trains rerouted, and panic minimized through coordinated guidance, showcasing the city's resilience and the protagonist's leadership. Gary is ultimately confronted in a sequence that emphasizes ethical confrontation and clever exposure rather than violence. A combination of public awareness, strategic maneuvering, and teamwork neutralizes his manipulations, reinforcing the film's themes of morality, responsibility, and community cohesion. In the aftermath, Zootopia undergoes recovery and celebration. Streets are repaired, infrastructure restored, and minor characters complete their arcs. Clover gains recognition for her initiative, the raccoon gang earns respect, and Fox adolescents embrace newfound responsibility. Judy and Nick reflect on lessons learned, their bond strengthened by shared experience. Humorous moments persist even in recovery. Sloths slowly wave flags, chameleons attempt flamboyant color displays, and minor mishaps provide gentle levity, reminding the audience that life continues with both challenges and joys. Sunlight filters across the city as citizens work together, symbolizing unity, resilience, and optimism. Production insights subtly echo in the narrative. Detailed environmental animation, species-specific movement, and crowd choreography reflect the meticulous planning behind each sequence. Voice actors' timing enhances comedic and emotional beats, while lighting, particle effects, and reflections create immersive depth. Music integrates seamlessly, with Michael Giacchino's score highlighting suspense, triumph, and humor, while Shakira's song reinforces themes of perseverance and solidarity. Easter eggs remain visible, from WALL-E references to subtle nods to the first Zootopia, rewarding attentive viewers and deepening continuity. Ultimately, Zootopia 2 concludes with balance and hope. Gary the Snake is apprehended, societal trust restored, and characters demonstrate growth, but subtle foreshadowing hints at future adventures and ongoing societal challenges. The city, alive and vibrant, stands as a testament to collaboration, empathy, and ethical leadership, emphasizing that a thriving society depends on collective responsibility, understanding, and courage. Every element, from cinematic action and humor to character arcs and thematic depth, coalesces into an immersive, entertaining, and meaningful experience, leaving the audience both exhilarated and thoughtful about the complexities of community, morality, and personal growth.